Tony, I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. What the fuck is a clown meat?
Uh, well, from Jupiter, a
Yep.
clown is born. I think.
I,
Wait,
I was always
is it born?
I was always more of a Pluto enjoyer
What?
personally,
You're a
as my favorite planet. Yeah.
You disagree with Neil deGrasse Tyson?
I
I
think he should be
understand.
stripped of all his titles based on his destruction of Pluto as a planet. Yeah.
Well, I think we just have to understand that Pluto's a baby planet. It's not a full-grown planet yet. And I think we have to
Would you say
accept
it's
that it'll
it's a
grow one
is
day.
it a dwarf planet?
Yeah, it'll grow. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Once the people get over there on the ships, they'll make it bigger.
The problem
They'll
is,
put like space elevators and then start building outwards.
yeah. This is a tangerine, but the problem is you can't just say like anything spheroid in space as a planet. Like you would just have like a massive amount of asteroids.
It's a
that are actually planets.
satellite.
Well, I don't orbit anything. If it's always the sun, it would be a planet.
Mm.
There's a lot of round asteroids. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a baby planet, guys. One day, maybe. Pluto. What the hell is going on here, by the way?
Yeah. So if you've got any questions, what is happening? I don't know.
A giant cloud landed on a city 20 quote years later. Everyone's dead, and you're being picked up. Is that you?
Yeah. No. I don't
You in
think so
their
yet.
hands?
No, I think you're the
Not
next one.
yet. Oh, okay. This one. What? This one was.
That's the test one. You do get to control this, but I think they're just trying to create a fleshy clown. So this is a game called Clown Meat, and basically I just saw somebody posting I think it was an article on this, and they just said Clown Meat. It's platforming and it's really fucking weird clowns, and I was like, you know what? I don't need to look anything else up about this. I will play it. It has a demo. I am in. Let's try some Clown Meat.
Yeah.
So what is Clown Meat? I think this is me now. I think Clown Meat is a precision platformer with like a big, just like on the store page, an emphasis on speed running and replayability, and that is exactly what it is. The game that reminded me of the most while playing it was Super Meat Boy in a lot of ways. It is very like quick, fast-paced, punishing platforming, and also you are made of meat, and it very much has that very meaty aesthetic to it.
So you're a meat boy.
Aren't we all meat boys?
Some of us are skeletons, but
Oh, that is true. Sorry, I forgot. I thought this was a China safe podcast, but I forgot about your
no,
lack of meat on the bone. But yeah, I kind of played this on a whim.
The story is, I guess, completely crazy, but it's more about the actual platforming, I suppose.
Yeah, I didn't really pay too much attention. They were talking about a load of nonsense, and I was like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna run around and platform. I guess there's like, again, with these like more horror
Tolerable.
style things, it's more open to interpretation what's going on.
Yeah. You don't want to spell it out. It kind of ruins the horror.
One thing I saw when I was playing in the background, they had a bunch of signs, and one of them was like Pony Express, and I was like, wait a minute, isn't Pony Express the mailing company from fucking mouthwashing that I just played? Why is this in here? I think they're made by completely different people, but that threw me the fuck off. I was like, is Clown Meat and mouthwashing connected? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, 100%.
Because they have
canonical.
They have characters from other games, like none that I've heard of. For the most part, like Brutal Orchestra was one,
Right.
or like they have guest characters as playable characters. But there was one I had actually heard of. It was Perfect Vermin. Do you remember that game we played? Where you had to go around destroying, like, meat pretending to be furniture and made sure you got the right furniture?
Yes.
And it was like a cancer anti-smoking thing?
Yeah. That was creepy as well. I just realized though, you're Attempt 47.
Wait a minute.
Is that a Hitman reference?
This is the same dev as Perfect Vermin. I'm just looking this up now.
Oh, okay.
So this is why this is so, like, on-brandly strange. But also very interesting.
Is there an anti-something message here? Because maybe it's anti-clown. I think
it's a very big anti-clown message. Yeah, I will say.
Yeah, but your Attempt 47 is that a Hitman Agent 47 reference?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. So you have this overworld, and then there's multiple characters, which I think are purely cosmetic. I unlocked one. But like the levels start very easy, and then you're like, yeah, but do it in 3 seconds. It's like, you did it pretty fast, but do it faster.
Yeah.
And then they get like more and more complicated. Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Just trying, because you need like a certain amount of medals in order to unlock the next set of levels. Is how they do it. And I was immediately like, oh god damn it, this is like neon white for me. I'm like, I have to get the next medal up on the speed run.
Yeah. How the hell do you get faster? Okay.
So you can use like when you shift into the ball and then you jump, you get like a huge amount of speed.
Yeah.
There is like advanced mechanics to this, and it took me a long time to get used to them. Like the actual way you like you shift in and out of this ball, and then when you like, if you're like use momentum, so if you jump down and onto a slope, you'll get massive momentum if you jump out of that ball. And then also, what I didn't even realize until later in the game is if you're in the ball, you cannot be killed by spikes, which is something that's quite useful. Yeah, okay. So there's like a toolkit you have in this game that you can utilize. But it's not all that well explained to you, like from the beginning. It's like
or like tutorialized in any way.
Yeah. Like in the beginning of the game, like none of the like mechanics are really explained to you. Like for this level, you have to collect a bunch of fingers in order to complete the level, and then I think there's more than the fingers you need in the level, so you can kind of change your path based on how fast you want to be going.
You have options on what you think would be best. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
But I went through the levels slow running them, and then I got to a point where the game's like, you need to get over this gap, and you will never be able to get across this gap until you master this mechanic. And I spent like half an hour just trying to get across this gap, following the tutorial guide given me, and I was like, I don't get this. And then eventually I got it, and then I went back, and because it was like, oh, you can get through this door, but you need a bunch more of the medals. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I now know how to do this new momentum rolling ability. I went back and did a bunch of the levels, and I was able to do them way quicker. So I don't know if it was intentional that they were like, oh, we want you to do the levels really slowly first, and then we'll teach you this jumping mechanic sort of thing. But I think it would have been a lot easier if the game had sort of taught me that through playing.
Yeah, or slowly gone harder to like you slightly improve.
Yeah. Because once you click with the like momentum rolling, you can get a lot faster. But I think this is the sort of game that's going to have like a much higher barrier of entry than the normal game. Like I would say, this game, its skill ceiling is a lot higher than even something like playing through Super Meat Boy. Like Super Meat Boy starts out pretty easy and it just gets harder while having the same mechanics, but this almost has like mechanical barriers where it's like you just simply won't be able to complete this level fast enough without knowing the full mechanics of the game, sort of thing.
So you haven't figured out the ball invulnerability or the spike mobility thing at this point, then?
So this is a guy who exists. Is this the guy that? Hang on, let me go back. Oh my god, Tony! Pony Express. There it is.
Oh, okay.
The fucking mouth-washing thing. So this is the jump that I kept failing like 100 times. Hey, don't cry, you'll get the hang of this. Remember, jump as high as you can above the slope. Yeah. And once as high in the air as you can, press right trigger. So it's like, it tutorializes this to be like, okay, you're not going to be able to get through the rest of the game unless you figure out this mechanic of jumping. And it took me a really long time to get this. Like, I was here for like half an hour or something. Just at this one spot, and then eventually I got it. But then I think it's like, it's one of those skill checkpoints where it's like, okay, now you beat this part, you can now like start really playing the game.
I think having those is a good idea, but I feel like you have like smaller checkpoints leading up to like some of those bigger ones.
Yeah.
Like force you to like get a grasp of it earlier on, sort of thing. Make it so you can fail levels instead of like just go, oh, you completed it. But that'd be my way of approaching this.
Yeah, I definitely got like immediately the sense of, okay, I didn't get the top medal for this level, and this level's like 5 seconds long. I need to just keep replaying it to get slightly faster. I got like that sense of wanting to keep speedrunning it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I think like it's a lot more precision platforming than I'm used to. Like, it is a lot more razor edge sort of game design, where it's like you need to be playing super fast constantly. Yeah,
so it matters like where you start falling, I suppose, or where you jump to get the momentum.
I'll show you some of the later levels. Oh, here's me going back and replaying some of the levels with my newfound skills to try and unlock some of the bonus medals.
Oh.
You can see, like, I know that I can use momentum to roll to get a lot faster.
Oh,
so I'm using that now.
Yeah, this is really difficult to pull off though, okay.
Yeah, it's very, like, hard to pull off consistently. Like, you have to get really good with the mechanic. So there'll be a lot of just, like, reset, I'm dead, reset, I'm dead, okay.
I assume there's a key to reset?
I'm not sure. Probably the R key if you're on a keyboard, but on the controller I don't remember what it was. But then oh, so here's some of the later levels. I'll show you some of those. I didn't... Oh, yeah, so this guy... You talk to this guy and then he explodes.
What?
Yeah. I fuck heavy with, like, the aesthetic and the weirdness of this game as well. I think it is... I think I'm always, like, less harsh on interesting games rather than, you know, a boring game, like a Ubisoft game or something.
Yeah, 100%. If you're doing something interesting, at least it's like, well, no one else is doing this, so... Give you props for originality at the very least.
But yeah, you collect all the things and then you talk to Jupiter.
Wait, what? You did a really great job.
It's like, that's the end of the demo. That's all, folks. But yeah. Clown Meat is an interesting game, and it's a bit of a hard recommendation for most people, I think, because it is so fucking strange. I remember I was playing...
A strange and precision platformer, right? Like, it's kind of a...
My friend was watching me play mouthwashing, and he was like, this is the strangest thing I've ever seen. And then I played Clown Meat, and he was like, why do you play, like, these games? Like, this is some of the strangest stuff I've ever seen. But I'm like, Yeah, but you kind of can't get this stuff anywhere else.
Yeah.
There should just
I
be a
can't-
corner of the internet for weird shit.
As somebody who likes like don't know, like demonics, like or skull stuff or flashy stuff. Most people are like, no, why do people even like this? I'm like, yeah, I do. I don't care. Yeah, I like the aesthetic is very weird. I like the weirdness, but I feel like I could never actually pull off like the momentum stuff you were doing in the time.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you get to the end, you can continue playing, but it's at least for the demo,
Yeah.
some of it was locked off based on how many medals you have, and you won't be able to.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have been able to do that without getting the extra medals. So let's talk about another crazy, insane game. Sea of Thieves. This is like a really dark, twisted fantasy platform. Oh, sorry. This is a very light-hearted pirate game. What a juxtaposition. I mean, it's not a quadruple A pirate game, Tony. I mean, what are you talking about? Did you see that statement from Ubisoft?
Yeah.
Saying that Skull and Bones would be the first quadruple A game.
What? Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even understand the concept of it being a AAA. Sorry. Like, why is it 3 A's and what does 4 A's then mean?
It means it's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony.
To me, I just thought it meant how much money was pumped into it, not the quality. But sure.
I'm back in Sea of Thieves, one of the greatest live service games in the world, because Sea of Thieves is a live service game, and it's just another banger. We have the Sea of Thieves Tall Tale. It's an entirely brand new, original story and set of gameplay mechanics built around going back to the Monkey Island. For the first mission, we're here on, I think it's Melee Island. It's called.
Yeah, that's
the name of the town island.
Yes.
So full disclosure, I have never played or seen anything about Monkey Island other than just random references to it.
You've seen the Ahoy video on Monkey Island?
No.
Okay, I would very much recommend that video and people watching it.
So full disclosure, I generally don't like point and click games.
Yeah.
So I've pretty much avoided playing anything Monkey Island because it's just not sort of my jam typically.
Yeah.
But I always thought people talk very highly about Monkey Island. It's like a very much beloved classic game. They even just made a new one, right, with Devolver Digital in partnership with Disney, right? Because I think Disney owns the rights to Monkey Island.
Yeah, I can't remember the original people who made it, like, they only made like the first 2.5 games sort of thing, and then it's like someone else, and then I don't know who owned. I guess at some point sold it to Disney.
So for me personally, a lot of the stuff I could look at and go, oh, I guess that's something from Monkey Island, but I wouldn't actually know. But I was playing with one of my friends who's a huge Monkey Island fan, and he was like, this is very accurate to the game.
Yeah.
So like the actual story is very like lore accurate in terms of characters, and the way you can troll your character and do things is actually gameplay accurate to see if to Monkey. I'm gonna keep mechanics. Monkey Island. I need to fucking remember the different name between these two pirate games. So with these Tall Tales, how they started out was the first couple of Tall Tales were very much the Wild West. They were, we're not really sure how to do like a single player / co-op experience inside Sea of Thieves. We had the Gold Island. What was it called? Of Thieves Tall Tales. The Shroud Breaker quest, was it? Is that what it was called? The Shroud Breaker was the first one. And essentially that was very much you do missions in the actual Sea of Thieves world. It was very much more open world sort of thing. Then came along the Pirates of the Caribbean one. And I guess that's also a connection to Disney again, because Disney owns Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Does Disney just own all the pirate games? I mean, obviously not Skull and Bones, but
I think just the good ones.
But yeah, that very much felt more like a roller coaster. That was like you're going into an instance. In this instance event, there is like invisible walls everywhere. You can go here and here, but nowhere else. Which I think overall, yeah, which is very funny if you know about Pirates of the Caribbean. Being a theme park ride. But I think overall, the roller coaster aspect really benefited how much they were able to focus on the actual gameplay of the gameplay of the Tall Tale, and also the atmosphere and the surroundings. They were like, okay, you're going to go through a portal, but you're actually going to be on the Black Pearl, and we're going to have like people like Captain Jack and Davy Jones and stuff like that. And we'll keep this outside the normal Sea of Thieves experience, because that would just be hell for new players. Previously, like, if you're in the middle of the Shroudbreaker quest, you could be like, okay, I need to take this back in order to hand it in order to finish the Tall Tale. And it'd be like, well, you could just get randomly attacked by random pirates and they could steal it and just completely nullify your Tall Tale, basically.
Well, how do you restart that? Like, do you just restart from the start? Like, how does that even... Or was it just...
So Tall Tales have checkpoints, and they're usually split up into chapters. So you'll have, like, chapter 1, you go and do this, chapter 2, 3... Like, the Monkey Island one is also split up into chapters. So there was a lot of dialogue in this. You can basically talk to any character, and you can ask them lots of questions. And
that's very that's very point and click like.
And yeah, so the actual gameplay of the first part is you're on Melee Island, and you need to figure out how to get to Guybrush, because Guybrush is
the classic.
He's now the mayor of Melee Island, but he's being guarded by the guards, and the guards won't let anyone in. And the guards are also these creepy-looking skeleton dudes where nobody really knows where they came from. And they won't let anyone go and see Guybrush. So it has very point-and-click gameplay where you basically go on a fetch quest going, oh, I need to get this rope to get this thing to get, like...
That is... I
need the chef's uniform so I can take the potent brew and then give it to this guy so I can steal his money. You steal a lot of people's money in order to buy a bunch of equipment, and then it lets you blow a guy up his jail cell so you can let him out. Like it's a bunch of like cascading events in order to go through the story.
So I don't know like how much you get information from your Guybrush friend.
Yeah.
Sorry, your guy and friend, but like the first two games at least, I don't know about the other ones. It's like very much like on the nose. Like you'd have like these stupid like point and click quests, and like Guybrush would be like, oh yeah, that definitely makes sense, kind of sarcastically.
Like, I heard
that it's a farce.
A lot of people associate point and click games from being like really ridiculously hard, but in like obtuse ways. Where
Guybrush acknowledges that in the games.
They actually sort of made no sense why using like a candlestick on a rock would be the solution to a puzzle or whatever. Apparently, what was happening at the time was, from what I've heard, that a lot of point-and-click games, they had these strategy guides which would help you complete the game, right? And they sold like crazy. And in order to keep the sales up of the guides, they would just make the games really hard and really confusing in order to sell more
really
of the guides.
Obtuse solutions,
Yes. I'm wondering why. Maybe the reason I dislike point-and-click games is because I've associated a lot of the design of classic point-and-click games with just really weird, obtuse designs they used to have.
I would say even good... Okay, there's a lot of point-and-click games. I think some of the great point-and-click games don't require... Like, I think you could probably get away with, like, the first the first game in this series, like,
Yeah,
or maybe even the second one, is like it kind of understands like it is obtuse and like just makes fun of it, and
yeah.
kind of makes it fun to do. But a lot of them are just like really bad and obtuse and just really frustrating to find stuff. And even like some ones that people can consider good are good in spite of that flaw. So I think that's it's not. It's not a requirement for the genre. Like it's not like a defining detail, but like so many of them have it, it almost might as well be.
Yeah. So yeah, I was playing this co-op, so we kind of split up and did different things around the island. Just be like, oh, I found this information, or oh, I found out how to get the key to the clock tower. I'm gonna turn on the clock tower, and that'll let us unlock this thing, right? Because the most for this first part, you are going around. So you can see there, like my friend found the claw hammer. And it's like, oh, now we need to like you can play this solo, or you can play it co-op, and you can all. We were just splitting up and trying to cover as much ground as
Multitasking.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I went off to the top of the island, and there was this guy with a bunch of money, and I was like, "Hey, look
Yeah.
over there for a second. There's a ship coming." And I was like, "I'm gonna steal all of his money," and
I
now
would.
I'm gonna buy some shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me personally, like I would want to like try and speak to everyone because like I just feel like
Oh, I was just talking to everyone. Yeah, that's a
everyone's
large part
super
of
interesting.
what you will do in this Tall Tale, especially in the beginning, is you'll get all your information. So usually you'll talk to somebody and they'll say, I would help you if you could give me this item. Then you go, how do I get this item? So you go and talk to somebody else and
Yeah.
see if they have that item. And then you sort, it's
Learn how
like,
to get to
it does feel like you're part of like a diegetic world where it's like,
yeah.
oh, of course I need the anchor to do this with the ship or whatever, right?
You're connecting lots of things together, lots of like quests make them interesting together in a way.
Yeah, like a lot of the time it's like, oh, that makes sense why you would need this for
Yeah.
this, and oh, magic's
Even if it's
been
ridiculous, at
banned,
least
by
it
the way.
makes
That's
sense.
something I forgot about. They've
Oh
banned like the magical
What?
potion stuff, so
no.
you have to figure out what's going on there. The guy in the red and yellow, the spooky blue guy, that is the new guards for the governor.
Right.
Definitely
right.
nothing bad going on with him. I think
Not
it's
a curse, is there?
no. There's no curse.
Okay.
I'll not only give you the ticket free of charge,
But I think the Tall Tale is split up into about 4 or 5 different chapters. So chapter 1, Melee Island, you talk to Guybrush, and then eventually you go to another island before you go to... I think you go to the other side of Melee Island, maybe? And then that's where the game sort of opens up a lot more. And that's where the next gameplay mechanic comes in, which is insult sword fighting, which
yes. Yeah.
apparently is like a large part of Monkey Island.
That
But like it was really well done inside Sea of Thieves, and apparently is very accurate to Monkey Island as well. So you'll get
Sorry, this guy's great.
you'll get your sword out, and then somebody will be like, I'm the scariest pirate on the seas. And then you'll get a bunch of like canned responses, and then you'll have to say the corresponding correct response. If you say like you start attacking him, and then you go, it's a shame we're on dry land then, and then that will like wound him. And then you basically have to go around learning the responses to all the insults, and then that's like your repertoire of attacks. It's really interesting and something you would never see inside Sea of Thieves.
Does this have like the rhyming scheme mechanic later on as well?
What's the rhyming scheme mechanic?
With some of you have to respond. It might just be like in the second game actually. There's like a couple of like bosses or enemies, I should say, where it's like there's multiple right answers, but only one of them's correct because it rhymes.
I think it's just a one response sort of thing, and I think they generally
it might be the
rhyme.
second game they added that then, because there's like one enemy in the second game where it's like you have to force them not to rhyme.
Right. Okay.
Which I thought was really cool.
No, I don't think they go that in depth with it. It's mostly just find out what the response is. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Use that response in the future.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Um,
They're still like logical based, whereas like you're like trying to think of what would be the counter to this as an insult.
but yeah, I don't want to go too much into the story stuff because obviously it's a heavy story based.
Yeah, that's the whole point. I suppose.
You know, you asked if this was DLC, so the way Sea of Thieves works is it's a live service game. So
just with an update,
you buy the game or you play on Games Pass, and then you spend money on cosmetics through the Pirate Emporium, or you can buy the Battle Pass, which is the Plunder Pass, as it's called.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how they make their money.
Great
is through
name.
Game sales and people buying the cosmetic stuff. Speaking of pirate games, by the way, I don't know if you saw. Apparently, World of Warcraft just released an MMO. They just released a battle royale pirate game. I don't know if it's called like Plunder Storm or something, where you basically
Fools.
No, like it's a full game mode that you can play on your WoW sub. It's a separate launcher to the main game. But if you have a WoW sub, you like hot drop into this island, like this PvP area, and you basically run around collecting spells and upgrading them by leveling up, and then you fight people as a storm comes in. Like it's actually a battle royale version of WoW. It is weirdly intriguing. I was watching Asmongold play it. I was like, okay, what is this? But yeah,
there's just something about these guys that
guys, spoiler alert: you go to Monkey Island on the Monkey Island.
Discover Monkey Island.
You wait for your shipmate to get.
But yeah, you were asking where was Guybrush. Here's Guybrush.
Do you know why he's called Guybrush?
I have no idea. He's named after Basil Brush, right?
No, so there were, on Gimp, you make brushes.
Yeah.
They're like very like sprites of like characters with brushes back in the day as well, and they just called it Guy. So, but then it ended it with so it's just called Guy.brush, and they went
Guybrush, that's his name.
Guybrush, yeah.
Look at us, just guys being dudes.
I just think it's so funny. It's like the devs like taking like the thing seriously. I love Guybrush. He's a great responses.
Yeah, you can play this completely solo. You can play it co-op, and it'll be fully instances. So it'll just be like a single player like campaign or co-op experience. And I'd highly recommend it to anyone who has Sea of Thieves. Check it out. It's really good.
Maybe one day I will check it out.
Maybe one day you will play all those multiplayer games that you've bought but have not played yet.
I've even installed this game. I need to actually.
Okay, you're gonna load it up.
Get a weekend playing Monkey Island. I'm saying the wrong one, but in reverse now.
Well, you can play Monkey Island. You can play.
Yes.
You can play Pirates of the Caribbean. You can play some of the original Tall Tales. Like there's a lot of content.
Actually, I was going to ask before we head off. Actually, how many Tall Tales are we up to now?
There's a lot now. I think there's probably like 7 or something like that.
Really? Okay, interesting.
Well, we got Shores of Gold, Ashen Age, A Pirate's Life, Monkey Island. There's the Lovers one. I can't remember what that was called.
Landlubbers.
The Shroudbreaker, The Cursed Rogue. The Legendary. No, wait. Shores of Gold, Ashen Age, Pirate's Life. This Wikipedia page is not fully updated, so there's at least like
quite a few.
There's at least 4 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're all they're long-ish, right? They're a couple of hours,
a
few hours. Yeah.
I'd say the most like polished ones are definitely the Monkey Island and the Pirate's Life ones, but they're very much more like roller coasters, so mileage may vary on the other ones.
I assume it got funding or some sort of deal with people who own Disney. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Monkey Island game just came out. I don't know if it was cross promotion or.
Yeah, very possible.
But yeah, we'll See you next time. Good tie.
Good tide. Goodbye.